AskReddit by deleted. What is an odd fun fact? Bus seats are designed so that you cannot tell how dirty they really are. Thanks, reading this while sitting on a bus. There is a whale called 52 blue, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/52-hertz_whale close bracket that only sings at their frequency, meaning it can't communicate with other whales. It is nicknamed the loneliest whale on the planet. Your skeleton is WET. Your intestines will wriggle themselves back into the correct position. Doctors who do any type of intestinal surgery don't have to worry too much about how they put the intestines back in. Yeah, intestines can also fold and die. This happened to my ex twice. She was in the hospital for months. Luckily didn't die. A certain type of anglerfish reproduce via the male burrowing into the side of the female, eventually fusing. The male life is lost in the process. Well, define lost life. It keeps doing its thing just as a totally dependent parasite. If you are an identical twin, it is possible that you and your siblings' identities were swapped and your parents never caught it. Thank God I like being named Lewis. Horses can't throw up. So if they eat something bad or get a bad gas bubble, they just lay down and die. That's probably an uncount fact for the writers of BoJack Horseman. The reason you're supposed to contact the doctor if you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours is because prolonged priapism can lead to gangrene of the dick. Blood goes in, deoxygenates, but can't leave, so there's no way for fresh oxygenated blood to come in, causing the tissue to turn black and die. Don't worry, though. This can be treated by using a big syringe to suck the trapped blood out. This happened to me when I was 15. I'm 28, almost 29 now. It was caused by a blood clot and I was taken into emergency surgery. The doctors removed the vein with the clot and replaced it with one from my upper left thigh. I was already in the hospital with severe pneumonia. I was in the hospital for 3 months with half that in the PCU. When you get a sunburn, it's actually your cells dying so they don't get tumorous. That is actually a fun fact, and pretty metal. Cell gets DNA damage so it commits suicide so they don't start overproducing and kill you. There are 8 unaccounted for American nukes and literally an unknown quantity of missing Soviet nukes that range all the way from warheads to suitcase bombs. Wait. So are they unaccounted for or are they legit unaccounted for? As in they're lost? In the United States, roughly 1/3 of all food is thrown away each year. Valentine's Day is a holiday with one of the highest suicide rates. More reason to convert it to Cupcake and Panty Day. Anyone can enjoy those things, attached or not. People who commit suicide by jumping off a bridge, those who don't die from the impact, drown because the impact breaks enough bones that prevents them from swimming. Poor bastard in my area died like this. Took a bunch of pills, slit his wrists, sat for a while in his bathroom and I guess decided it wasn't fast enough so he walked down the road and jumped from a fairly tall bridge. The water below is pretty shallow but apparently he still drowned. The FBI estimates there are between 25 and 50 active serial killers in the US at any given time. Did my dissertation on serial killers. The FBI's estimate is vastly low. There are hundreds, if not thousands of serial killers living among us. Also, consider the fact that you only have to kill 3 people to be considered a serial killer. I use the word only with some irony. If you eat a polar bear liver, you will die. Humans can't handle that much vitamin A. Do you die if you eat it all or just take a little bite? The lemmings are not suicidal and the documentary What Film Did was actually showing lemmings getting thrown down a cliff because they needed the scene but couldn't make the animals do it. That's fucked up. People who survived the Holocaust and get Alzheimer's often think they are back in the camps. So they escape one of humanity's greatest horrors only to die in it 50 years later. In 2017, 10,000 people died awaiting their disability decision. There is a genetic disease called FOP where your muscles and tissue turn to bone, often called human statue disease. Eventually people may have to decide whether they want to become frozen in a sitting or flat standing position. Deleted. People with extreme scurvy start to have all of their old wounds open up. Everything with a scar is held together via an active process with collagen, and without vitamin C just sort of stop. What? Urine was used for teeth whitening and bleaching of clothes in ancient Rome. Yes, they rinsed their mouth with human and animal urine. Oh god, imagine all their clothes smelling like piss. They definitely wash it out with water, but there's gotta be that remaining sour smell. Spider rain, you read that right, is a real and naturally occurring phenomenon. As Adele once said, set fire to the rain. Penguins rape the hell out of anything that looks vaguely penguin-like or doesn't move. In fact, it was so rampant that the 1910-13 Scott Antarctic expedition decided it was best not to bring it up so society wouldn't have to deal with the issue it would bring up. Scientists witnessed males having sex with other males and also with dead females, including several that had died the previous year. He also saw them sexually coerce females and chicks and occasionally kill them. The scientists blamed this astonishing depravity on hooligan males and wrote down his observations in Greek so that only an educated gentleman would understand the horrors he had witnessed. When I clicked on this thread, I expected scary disease facts, not a century-old gay penguin necrophilia cover-up. You can smell your own lungs. Your brain just filters out the smell. Does that mean others can smell our lungs because their brains are not filtering out the smell? A blue-ringed octopus, found in the Pacific, is a tiny and cute little guy, but one painless bite gives enough venom to kill 25 male adults. Edit, changed sting to bite. Also note, as long as you are given medical attention within an hour of you receiving the bite, you'll be fine. These live everywhere on the coast where I live. I remember it being drilled into us really young not to stick our hand under rocks or into rock pools on the shore, because once you realized something had happened it would be too late. Australia. I live in Australia. Some perfumes, or more specifically, musks you use come from the anal and secretion glands of musk deers and civet cats. Wait till they learn about ambergris. Live chat support agents can see what you type before you send it, so they can reply quicker. Yet they still take fucking forever to do so. Bastards. Cute, fuzzy little sea otters are known to rape baby seals to death. And penguins. The search and rescue dogs on 9/11 were getting so sad from finding only dead bodies. The human helpers buried themselves in the rubble so that the dogs could find them and be happy. They'll do this also if the rescue dogs aren't able to locate any people, living or otherwise, in the rubble. In Australia there is a plant called the Jimpy which has such a severe sting that horses who brush against it throw themselves off cliffs because they'd rather die than continue to experience the pain. Hi, I'm Coyote Peterson. Migraines and strokes carry a lot of the same symptoms, so if you suffer regular migraines you may not notice you're actually dying one day. I'm a migraine sufferer and have nerve problems in my shoulder that mean I regularly lose the feeling in my left arm. I could have a stroke and heart attack at the same time and think I'm having a normal day. Bedbugs procreate by traumatic insemination. Males literally stab females with their genitals. So, just another reason to hate them then. What is it with insects and horrific mating birthing rituals? Climbing Mount Everest has a 6.5% mortality rate. What's more harrowing is that if you die, you will most likely be left there. There's currently over 200 dead bodies on Everest that are irretrievable, and now serve as markers for other climbers. Not a bad place to eternally rest, but upsetting for those left behind who can't give you a proper burial. Climbing K2, the second tallest mountain in the world, has a fatality rate of 29%. If a hamster gets too stressed, it will eat its kids. Pet hamsters are kinda fucked up as nearly all modern pets are descended from an inbred line. https://www.npr.org/2011/04/135268583/how-the-wild-hamster-was-tamed. Rabies is terrifying. You can get it and not even know it from bats, which live across the globe. It might hit you right away, it might be in 3 years. But it doesn't matter because once symptoms set in, you're already dead. We should start a 5K charity run for rabies. Male dolphins like to hunt fertile female in groups and hound them because they are unwilling. The females are often injured during this, some even die. They will also kill any young that are with the females just so they can breed. Killing the baby to them is just getting rid of a distraction to the mother, hoping they'll become fertile sooner, more willing to mate. The number one cause of death among pregnant women is murder. Does that mean I now have a smaller chance of being in an accident? Silver linings, you know. A man once had a tapeworm get cancer. That cancer metastasized, and the man died from tumors of tapeworm throughout his entire body. Doctor, well, the good news is that you do not have cancer. The bad news is, you're going to die because of cancer. It was once thought for birds, parrots, magpies, to learn to talk, you had to release their tongue. This was done by cutting their tongue completely or partly off, of course without any anesthesia or painkillers. The tongue release plays absolutely no role in the bird's ability to talk. What the shit was the logic there? Oh, this bird can talk but it has a tongue, so that must be an issue because... Why are we mutilating birds again? The little girl who voiced Ducky in The First Land Before Time was murdered by her father before the movie came out. Her gravestone says yep yep yep. Her name was Judith Barcy and she was also in Jaws. Poor kid died a horrible death. Greifswald Nuclear Power Plant, 1976, the almost Chernobyl of East Germany. In short, due to a short circuit resulting in a fire, almost all coolant pumps failed. The NY Times says, a Chernobyl-scale nuclear disaster was prevented only when a single water pump in the emergency cooling system was able to draw off pressurized water heated to high temperature by the decay heat left in the reactor's core, thus preventing a meltdown. This incident became public with reunification in 1989. To be honest though, nearly every man-made disaster isn't just one thing that went wrong. It takes a whole series of things to go wrong in a particular order to happen, which is exactly why we build in things like extra fail-safes and code protocols for engineering. Chernobyl happens because there was a long serious list of failures from the design, in the implantation, to the running of it, to literally doing the opposite what you were supposed to when shit was going wrong. According to the World Bank Group, the world produces about 2 billion tons of garbage every year. The youngest person to ever give birth to a baby was a 5-year-old little girl. To this day I still wonder how TF that happened. Most power outages in the US are caused by squirrels. Those fuckers are up to something. Himalayan blackberries can allegedly grow under your skin. Either that or the mountain climbers picking them were just high. Despite being the largest mammal, blue whales do not have large arseholes. They defecate with an anus the size of a grapefruit. Which animal has the largest arsehole? There is a non-zero maximum threshold for the amount of cockroach that can be present in ground coffee because it is literally impossible to keep them out entirely. Deleted. The threat of a deadly bird flu spreading to humans is always there. It takes just a little bit of negligence in screening chickens for this to happen. There is actually a bird flu spreading among poultry in urine. There exist in the world, at this moment, more juggalos than polar bears. How do we know this? Is there a juggalo census? The reason dogs love squeaky toys is because they sound like small animals dying. One of our dogs had one of those fake pregnancies some dogs get, and some wires must have gotten crossed, because after that, she started treating squeaky toys as if they were puppies, getting hella mad at our other dog when she played with them. Much to the confusion of said other dog. She'd collect all the squeaky toys and put them with her in her basket. She got less extreme with it later on, but she just didn't play with squeaky toys after that.